What's up, Ed?
I took Astrid.
What?
I couldn't help it. I was so hungry, and she was there, and she said she was going to tell me her story anyway, so I
told you to control it. You have to get better at controlling this, or... God damn it, Ed!
Would taking a stranger be better than a friend? Would you prefer I walked out onto the street and just took someone?
Yes, anyone is better than cannibalizing those who love you.
I'm not sure I agree. At least we all chose to be part of this.
Is that making you feel better about yourself?
She's not talking to me.
You're lucky I am.
Isn't it a bit hypocritical for a desolation avatar to be so upset about destruction?
Isn't it hypocritical for a desolation avatar to be in love with one of the web? Devotion is complicated.
So is hunger.
Next time you get hungry, don't wait. Don't be stupid. Just do something.
I've already got a plan. Oh, I can feel you worrying. Don't worry, I'm not going to read it. Okay, well, yes I am, but not like that. I need to know the right page. There we go. Now, I need to talk to someone. Because I saw their shop. More importantly, I saw that they were asleep. And for someone so careful, they shouldn't have given me a door. Oh, I just need to feel it. Connect them. Like my own string of web. Should be a bit familiar, even. What's reverse possession if not a little bit of channeling? She begins to incandesce, and now she approaches such radiance that she almost disappears into it, kindled to the very edge of the existence by Soot.
I can't... This can't... No.
Hello, Curator. Pardon for the intrusion.
My anchor. Where is my anchor?
Oh, you mean that end clock of yours? Can't hear it ticking. I wouldn't be too concerned. I'll put you back when I'm ready.
You'll put me... This isn't possible, Dreamwalker. This was an entire ceremony last time. How are you doing this?
If I recall correctly, and I'm usually quite good at that sort of thing, last time you said my channeling trick made me very easy to possess, so I had a theory that with a little bit of dreams, a little bit of sight, I'd be able to host you again.
You... For someone who was dead, you're sounding much more heartless this time around.
Well, you were never very kind to me in the first place.
I've been as good to you as I can be, given the circumstances. Better than most would be, even.
I'd argue that possession is very much not better than most.
And yet, you've invited me back. How badly do you want to hurt me?
No more than getting even, but I'm very excited to do so. Ugh, I was hoping you'd have forgotten how to do that.
Hard thing to forget. But I'm not trying to hurt you, Dreamwalker. I never have, even when you proved yourself a threat to the world.
Oh, even you know that the fears aren't as strong over here. I don't think the Watcher's Crown or the Archivist will have any effect on its potency.
Do you think that? Or does the eye just want you to?
I don't know.
I should kill you, really. It would be the correct choice.
I don't think you could kill me even if you wanted to.
Wouldn't be that difficult. I know where you live, I have a working relationship with a few hunters, and I am currently in your body. Ask me why I haven't.
Why haven't you sent off your hunters yet?
Because I truly want the best for you, Dreamwalker. I regret that the feeling isn't mutual.
You still genuinely think you're helping me? How could... No, I'm getting sidetracked. What do you think the Almanac will do to me?
Turn you into the Dreamwalker. Completely. Fully. An avatar of the spiral that exists only in dreams. A being that inhabits the minds of its prey, blurring the lines between waking and dreaming until they can't tell one from the other, and it can properly touch them. And if the fears continue to pour through your head, you could only release them into the nightmares of an unfortunate few, not the entire world. An unusual existence, but you would be happy.
How can you possibly know what would make me happy?
I've done this a lot. No complaints so far. To fully give yourself to the powers is a joyous thing. It's only fear that holds you back.
It's only fear that's holding me back from giving myself to the fears.
Perhaps it would be better described as the feeling that you should be afraid? Some leftover piece of who you used to be, telling you that you shouldn't want this, shouldn't enjoy it as much as you clearly do.
No, see, that's what bothers me about you so much. You are so attached to separating humans from monsters, losing humanity, pieces of who you once were, but that's too easy, isn't it? To do awful things because you're no longer human. I am choosing to do this. And I am just as human as the archivist as I was... whoever I was before this.
How do Henrik and Astrid look in your dreams?
You're changing the subject. Very afraid.
How does that make you feel?
Good.
Then why do you still want to be human so badly?
Because it's what I understand.
Fear of the unknown, then. You're ever so consistent.
You know, we talk a lot about me. Why don't we talk about you?
What's there to talk about? I'm hardly the most tantalizing morsel in the room. Don't you want to read the Almanac?
Of course I do. I'm ever so curious, Curator. It's in my nature. But I haven't yet. Ask me why I haven't.
Why haven't you read it yet?
Because I like being the archivist. No, that's not what I wanted to... Because right now, it's a safety net for my hunger.
But you are hungry, Dreamwalker. Starving, even. I can feel it. So why haven't you... Wait.
Figured it out yet?
That can't... You can't possibly think...
Why did I bring you here?
Because I'm your next meal.
How would you like to do this?
Dreamwalker.
Not my name, and definitely not my title.
Edwin, don't you dare! That's mine!
I've got a question for you.
Likewise. What?
What is your story?
No!
Give me your statement.
I've never liked people. I've tried, of course. I want to like people, but we all pretend so much. People are violent, cruel animals. That's something I learned early and learned well, and in truth, it never bothered me. There's nothing more human than hurting someone else to make yourself feel better, than pushing someone else down in order to get ahead. But what twists my gut is nobody is willing to be honest about it. We all paper over it with these layers of idealized artifice so we can pretend we're still moral beings. I'm not like that, really. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. It won't happen again, I promise. No! It's all illusion. Just self-proclaimed good people keeping their cruelty behind closed doors because they're afraid of what would happen if it was all out in the open, and it makes me sick. I know this isn't healthy, of course. That constant fear, that desperate need to peel off the mask, makes existing hard, and I do like existing. I never found a way to live without people, never lost that desire to find someone honest I could connect to, so I had to learn to live with them. That's what brought me to the antiques business. It was the age that did it for me. Seeing generations of wear and tear, the signs of what something had gone through and come out intact and still beautiful, it helped. The idea that someone could believe the illusion well enough to turn it into something physical, something that could outlast whatever cruelties claimed its creators, it gave me hope. So I made that my life's work. Got a job at an antique shop run by a man named Sinclair. He was brusque and reclusive, unkind in a way that always felt refreshingly honest to me. The hours were long, the organization was non-existent, and the pay was frankly shit, but I loved it. The one downside was Sinclair expected me to be the one helping customers. At the time, I hated it, but I can't deny it was good practice. I learned to wear the same mask as everyone else, how to get them the exact item they needed. I even started to enjoy it. When I got it right, it felt like sending the antique off to a good home, secure in the knowledge that it would be preserved for another lifetime. I didn't learn to like people, per se, but I started to see the bright spots within them. It was a matter of necessity, really, because people are inane about anything of a certain age. I swear, it felt like every day I'd hear a customer quietly remark how this item was haunted, that one was definitely cursed. No, it's just old. It was created before you, was loved and cared for by multiple people who lived and died before you, and you don't know how to handle that, so you joke about ghosts. Sometimes when Sinclair and I were out on the floor together and heard the same tired joke, we'd glance at each other, just long enough to roll our eyes in unison, which was the closest we came to camaraderie. It was after one such occasion that he called me over to one of the back shelves. Within seconds he was holding an old suit, folded and pressed and carefully wrapped in multiple layers of sealed plastic bags. "Idiots joke about curses," he said. "They don't know anything. This one is cursed. Don't ever put it on a mannequin, and only sell it to someone traveling." Looking at it, I could feel something prickling at the back of my neck, a vague unease that made me take him completely seriously. I asked him if there were any others, and he told me yes, maybe a dozen since he started the shop, though the suit was the only one still in stock. I asked him how he knew, and he just shrugged. "You get a sense for it," was all he said. I did eventually sell that suit, multiple times, in fact. That's just business, though. What matters, maybe the first moment of my life to truly matter, is when I found the scales. It was about a year and a half later. I was attending an auction on Sinclair's behalf, looking for new inventory. Nothing really caught my attention until I saw them. They were massive, easily 4 feet tall and just as wide, all copper and brass and loops of intricate silver chain, the base carved with symbols of crossed blades in a dozen different styles. Most notable was that there were not 2 plates, but 15 arranged in a ring, not a single one of them level with another. Now, of course, the significance of that is obvious, but at the time I simply knew I had to have them. My neck was prickling again, my heart starting to race. The scales were a thing of beauty, yet looking at them felt wrong. They were so close to being perfectly ordered, but were all unbalanced. I had to fix them, had to bring them back into alignment. I wish I could say that laying my hands upon the scales for the first time was glorious, satisfying. I'd love to tell you they were warm, that I knew I was finally home. But no. As I held my prize, I simply felt the weight of what I had always suspected crystallizing around me. Something was wrong with the world. But with that certainty came a new feeling, a slow, burning sensation that maybe I could fix it. It took entirely too long to determine their function. Placing objects upon any of the plates did nothing. They wouldn't budge, regardless of weight. Yet placing my own thumb upon the scales would change them with only the slightest amount of pressure, and only sometimes would any of the other plates alter their own position to compensate, and when left alone, it would all reset to its original unbalanced state. Sometimes they would shift of their own accord, plates raising or lowering entirely without my input. Eventually, I figured it out, of course. If I put my hand on one of the plates, pushed it into perfect alignment, and kept it there, I could feel the certainty within me shift. It would clarify, pulling me out into the world. Once I finally learned how to listen, the scales told me exactly how to bring them into balance. Time and again they led me to more antiques. Never the mundane sort, of course, and I would transport them back to the shop, wait for days, weeks, months, until the bell would ring over the door and I would feel the certainty flood my body that this was the customer the new artifact was meant for. I would turn on the charm, put on the mask I had learned to wear so well, and sell them what they needed. A few days or weeks later, I would find one of the plates had shifted, and the scales were a little more balanced. I have worked with them for years now. I understand them perfectly. They are my instrument, and I am theirs. I no longer need to physically commune with them. Even now, trapped within you, I need only think about them to know what they need. What makes me laugh is it took 3 years to actually reach that understanding, because that's how long it took me to see someone change. The artifact was a small desk lamp, beautiful and ornate. Its shade was 6 panels of stained glass, the thin slits of metal between as dark as emptiness itself. When this bulb was lit, the swirling colors of the glass would dim the entire room, and all the shadows would be sharp and clear, in stark contrast to its soft and alluring glow. Yet it kept its nature well hidden, so that even a trained eye might not recognize it, which made it the perfect gift for Sinclair. It didn't take long. A few days after I gave him the lamp, I found him just staring into its light. His shadow was long and dark. It stretched not just to the wall behind him, but somehow under it, reaching impossibly far out of the light's range. His eyes were sunken, intense, and I knew, as he stared into the lamp, that he was seeing something I could not. But there was a little smile on his face, and I was certain I had done the right thing. That became his habit for the next month, until one day he called me into his office. He was standing over the lamp and had 6 shadows, all evenly spaced around him, stretched and undulating slightly. The weary smile he gave me was so satisfied. It was the most genuinely happy expression I had ever seen on his face, and he thanked me, told me he knew what I had done and that the shop was mine. He'd already drawn up the papers, and that I had to take good care of it, and he'd know if I didn't. He reached out, gave my hand 2 firm shakes, and that was the end. Sinclair simply split, bloodlessly dividing into 6 pieces and tumbling into his shadows. They swallowed up the chunks of his body, and then, with nothing left to anchor them, his shadows slithered away out of the shop and into the world. It was the most beautiful thing I had ever seen. Finally, I was starting to understand. Whatever these artifacts were, they could change us, make us into something more than human, something honest, something better. And I would help them. I expanded, acquired more inventory, moved to a new location. It used to be a church, which always felt wonderfully appropriate. I shifted the focus of the business to primarily supernatural artifacts. I studied the relics, learned how some of them might be used safely, how I could store them so that the more volatile among them would mitigate each other. I learned how to expand the interior of my shop beyond the confines of its walls, and how to open its doors far beyond its actual location. I became the curator, and my collection grew. And yet, the scales were never quite balanced. I would get close, so close, but never all the way there. And they continued to change without my input. I had to wonder why. It was several years after the conclusion of the Magnus Archives that I found my answer. I listened to it on a whim initially, but the more I listened, the more I saw the similarities, the more I felt that certainty growing within me. Smirk was a fool, of course. Balance cannot be found in architecture, in building something solid and immutable to bind something ephemeral and ever-changing. Leitner was more fool still, for he tried to contain and conceal that which needed to be nurtured, proliferated, fed. But I could learn from their mistakes, take their role, and become better than them, better than everyone. There is no containment, not while there are still people. I just have to keep going, keep maintaining balance. I create monsters. I curate avatars. I give people the tools they need to make the true choice, to become something vicious and joyous and honest, and I do it for all the fears. When I am done, there will be no apocalypse, no sudden and terrible change that rewrites the world. The fears will hold each other in check, all of them gaining power uniformly until we have all changed. There will be no closed doors where you can hide your victims and your cruelty. We will all be monsters, and we will feed on each other as we deserve. I have never liked people, Dreamwalker, no matter how hard I've tried. But when I've fixed the world, you'll all be so much more than people. And what comes next will be beautiful. Unless, of course, some foolish archivist fucks it up and ends the world first.
Much better now. A set of scales, huh? It does make sense.
Damn it, Dreamwalker. That was less than pleasant, but I suppose I can't blame you for feeling spiteful. That much hunger would make anyone cranky. Shall we consider ourselves even?
What did you almost call me?
Though you have to understand, I took precautions against any interference in my dreams before I even sent you that book. That's all you're getting out of me.
And how certain are you that those precautions will hold?
Extremely. I've dealt with worse than you. Are we done here?
Not yet. Something's still missing.
What are you...
How does it feel to crave balance so much, all the while serving the slaughter? Giving it power every scale you tilt.
What are you talking about? I've traded in artifacts of the slaughter. That's not what I am.
Oh, you actually believe that, don't you?
Of course I believe it. It's true.
Denial doesn't suit you, Curator. Do you think being a step away from the suffering absolves you? Does it make you feel better about how you feed? Those scales will never balance. No matter how much you eat, no matter how much you serve, no matter how much humanity you carve out, you will always peddle its violence.
Shut up! That isn't real, Edwin. That is just worry. That's just fear that you are making feel like truth, because you are as tied to the spiral as you are to the eye, but it isn't real. I am certain!
Oh, I feel the ties to the other horrors. But the one I chose speaks only in truth.
You are wrong!
You're in my head. Can't you feel the knowledge through the door?
I don't care that it feels like truth. I know it's not... What was that? I felt that.
That was... Oh. I see it now.
See what?
The future of your story.
No, you didn't.
Have you forgotten who I was before all of this? Curator. I'm a psychic. That type of knowledge has been part of me my entire life. I should have expected the fierce would bleed through it. I have your future statement.
You're lying.
Are you certain? Because I have an excellent track record at prediction.
The eye can't see the future. This isn't possible.
Maybe some of us are just better at it than others. We're all just stories, aren't we? And I want to tell you yours, Curator. Let me chronicle it for you. You don't even make any mistake. That's the funny part. There's no foolish slip-up, no moment where you let your guard down, but like you've always expected, when your end arrives, it will be the one thing you never found a way to defend against. An avatar the lonely will walk into your shop. She will be well-dressed, professional, wearing a heather grey sweater with lace on the neckline. She will target you because you are forever, inescapably yourself. Someone who is known, recognizable, but isolated. There won't even be any conversation, which you'll honestly appreciate even then. She is going to cast you into the lonely without a second thought. She will pick up a small bracelet as a gift for her niece and leave. She'll never even make eye contact. Your lonely won't be a world free of people, of course. That would be too easy. No, Curator, over the course of weeks, you will watch the world forget you. Little by little. The few connections you had, repeat customers and fellow dealers will lose the ability to contact you. The avatars you created will forget how they came to be. The eyes of passers-by will slide right over your shop, seeing nothing. Anyone you speak to will forget the conversation as soon as they turn your back on you. The sound of your voice will be forgotten before it can be heard. The sight of you gone before it can be seen. You will fade, Curator. You'll forget what few connections you had as surely as they forgot you. You'll exist just enough to watch, observing the warmth and kindness that always eluded you in life. You won't be able to touch the objects within your shop, and when the wards fail and all the hungering destruction you so carefully curated comes pouring out, nobody will know where it came from. If you were only human, that's where your story would end. But there is violence at your core, and the slaughter does not let its servants go easily. There will be one remaining method by which you can touch the world. You will still be able to inflict pain. Not damage, just pain. You couldn't slit someone's throat, but you can make someone feel like you did, briefly, fleetingly, before the pain fades. This is how you will sustain yourself, lashing out at the happy people whose very existence shows the lie of your worldview, a nameless spectre of sourceless suffering. You have always been a stubborn thing, Curator, and you will carry on for years. But eventually, you will make a choice. Either you will come to believe that you were never fixing anything, let yourself forget and fade away, or you will finally discard that feeling of superiority you have always craved, that certainty that distance and neutrality made you better than the monsters you created, and give yourself fully to the slaughter. Something will carve its way out of the lonely then, but if I could show it to you, you would not recognize it. Either way, the Curator will be gone, and all you can do is know this will happen, and watch till this happens, and be drenched in dread for every waking moment of your tale. And I cannot wait to feel your terror. That's what was missing. Bridging the fears with what was already me.
I truly wish you hadn't done that, Edwin.
I wish I worked it out sooner. Can't you feel it? I'm not hungry anymore.
There are too many possible paths the future could take to know one that far in advance. The only way you could be certain is if you are forcing it to be that way. You're actually trying to kill me after everything I've done for you. You know there's only one reasonable reaction left to me, don't you?
Oh, God!
Eyes to cut you off, throat to shut you up, heart to finish the job. Stop struggling. Stop talking! No, you brought me here. You don't get to kick me out. I'm not going anywhere until I feel you die.
Oh, not my smartest plan. Yeah, I don't even think I don't even think the archivist is built to hold so much stuff in their head. Okay, actually, I think they are. I'm just still adapting. Ow. So, hello there. Shall we go to the theories now? Oh, let's go. So, what did Jonah Magnus put at the heart of Millbank prison? Edwin, any pronouns, 147 Weaver to 154, Bloody Mary. Favourite episode? Well, it was Weaver, but not proud of it. What will Millbank do for the Watcher's crown? Jonah Magnus and Robert Smirke worked on Millbank prison together. It fell into Smirke's hands in 1815, and the institute was founded in 1818. Millbank completed construction in 1821, and Robert Smirke died Monday, February 13th, 1867. Millbank was demolished in 1890. As I basically theorised last time, it's officially confirmed to be a universal blind spot of a prison of fears. It was confirmed in 152, but even Daisy said it felt empty in 114. The best navigator of the maze is Helen due to her connection to the spiral and keeping her door in the tunnels for so long. She said that there's something in the centre. She just didn't tell us what it was. John even proposed that Prentice's worms were searching for it too, that whatever was at the core would also help the corruption ritual. There's another thing. It's dig.
There's something here, you see. Something to be dug up, rooted out, buried within. A hollow space that all eyes point towards. And I intend to reach it. If my fingers don't give out first, I know where to dig.
It's the thing, the heart. So what is it? Is it a corpse of some past figure? What, Jonas' corpse? Or could it be an object that's mysteriously vanished that I haven't noticed yet? Perception in a physical form? A giant eye? I don't know. A pile of eyes? No. Simon Fairchild even confirmed that it's what Peter needs for the extinction, that only someone of the eye can use it, hence him needing Martin.
Presumably, from what he said, it must be powerfully aligned to the Watcher. If he wishes to use it, it would need someone already touched by the eye. And if he wants to control that someone...
They need to serve the lonely.
Quite right.
Oh, yes, of course, Simon Fairchild. We did end up meeting him, and I was right, for the record, that it was Simon working with Peter. He's fun. And I really liked his apathetic existentialism. It's part of the vast I forget about a lot. Simon attempted a vast ritual ages ago called Awful Deep in 1853 amidst, as he phrased it, aquarium mania. Didn't work. He said it wasn't a very good idea. There was a giant diving bell, a hunter destroyed its mechanism, and the occupants were sent to the bottom of the ocean. How long did it take for Simon to what? Walk back up? That's a bit funny, you've got to admit. Reminds me of Astrid. I've always told her she should use her power to... Not that she's talking to me. Sometimes she reminds me of Georgie. Except Georgie cut off John before he could drag her down with him. The only ritual left is the lonely, which I assume Peter would tell us about eventually. God, Trevor and Julia are also back, which is not ideal. They tried to kill John because he burned Jerry's page. Daisy stopped them. They are still around, which is a pretty big wrench in the fucking situation. I didn't expect to see them again. I didn't expect them to follow John to London, but I mean, they're quite literally on the hunt, so I don't know what the hell I was thinking. Another thing from the past, re-listened to Prentice's statement again. God, there were webs in her attic. This adds to my timeline of spiders. Collars victory, Martin finding Prentice, bringing her to the Institute, knocking down the shelf, stopping the corruption ritual prematurely. Then there's the marks. Last volume's comments gave me quite the headache to read some of them. More almost spoilers than usual. Be mindful of my mind, please. But yes, as some of you pointed out, John's first encounter with the horrors was a guest from Mr. Spider. I remembered this, I just didn't think holding the book counted as a physical mark, but I guess I included Mike Crew's Vertigo, so the book's hypnotism, that's fair game. Fine, I'm counting it, so we're only missing the lonely. Tracking the marks feels right, but I'm lost. Honestly, at this point, I'm thinking that the webs thing, the extinction counter ritual, and the Watcher's Crown might all just be the same thing, all roads leading back to Millbank Prison. To the Archivist, I think. I don't know. I keep imagining John and Martin being forced against each other, a race for whatever's in Millbank to use for their own purposes. Though I guess this implies that John might eventually want to cause the Watcher's Crown, which... What if the web's plot, including influencing John to maybe blow up the Institute, is their only way to get at whatever's at Millbank's heart? The web wants John alive. Annabel Kane said so herself. Oh, okay. Annabel Kane. Episode 147. Weaver. They went to Hilltop Road, where inside was her statement and John's very first tape. It was... Oh Christ, she's horrifying. It spoke a lot on free will, even quoted Leo Tolstoy proposing free will itself is ignorance because knowing all future events and choices would lead to predetermination. Proposing that choice is the opposite of knowledge. To an avatar of the eye. To the archivist. No, I hated it, actually. And talking to John through him, making him question the choice of reading aloud statements. I couldn't... This was also an episode in which John addresses his hunger and choices. He admitted to liking it deciding that it was him that wants to feed. He even recontextualizes the past statements and investigations themselves.
Whatever the analogy, I'm finding it harder and harder to ignore the diminishing returns. How much less satisfaction each one gives me. My desire for follow-up, for verification, for proper digestion of the experience, it grows less and less. I just find my mind already wandering to the next statement, and the hopes that it won't be quite as stale.
Almost verbatim what I said last time, no? My growing apathy towards theorizing itself. Digestion. This is digestion. The theories, the thinking, the connecting, that's my digestion of the story. But it's not as satiating as the real stories around me. Whether absorbing past statements like an archivist or broadcasting future ones like... It's almost funny, because Gertrude explicitly said that nobody can know the future. Whoops! She didn't have enthralled a psychic then, Beholding! No, don't talk to it, it doesn't think. Maybe the rules are a bit different over here. I've been thinking about it. I don't know whether or not the extinction is going to be born. I've absolutely no idea. Most of you know, but the broadcast is built to keep that away from me. But after listening to episode 34, after just hearing the name Extinction, I got a statement from one of its avatars. Shouldn't that have been some sort of spoiler? Wouldn't that imply that the existence does come to fruition because there is an avatar? So, by that logic, it shouldn't have reached me. But I was able to listen to it, meaning it wasn't a spoiler. What if it doesn't matter? If it's born in the actual story? What if it only needed a foothold through the podcast's listeners? Through how they engaged with it and feared it, maybe wanted it. What do I want to happen in the story? Even if it's unlikely, even if it doesn't make any sense, outside of the theories and evidence, what do I want to happen? Well, I think my biggest fear right now is John dying at the end of season 4. Obviously I'm biased because despite it all, I still really like John, but I think it's just more compelling for him to survive an attempt at the Watcher's Crown. I trust wherever the story goes, but there's so many questions and loose ends that I'd prefer him there. What do I want with the Watcher's Crown? I don't think I want it to succeed. I don't know what a season within the Eye would even look like. Honestly, not particularly beholding of me, but I want John to blow up the Institute at the peak of its ritual, using the gas main in the tunnels and the spider Zippo lighter. Not because I think it'll exonerate him. Not because I'm looking for some singular act to qualify as some moral redemption. I want to watch a ritual be destroyed by an avatar caused to create it. I need the inevitable to break. Imagine what the other avatars would say in response. Imagine how embarrassing that would be for the beholding. Allowing all that doubt and guilt, for allowing that flavour of misery, and then for John to finally choose to use it against the Ceaseless Watcher. I want glorious 200 years of work. That would smash his ego against the wall. He trusted the archivist, but that's always been his fatal flaw. He said so himself.
That's always been my problem. Ever the optimist.
Then season 5? I want it to revolve around the web's plot. Possibly the extinction. And I wanted to have John and Martin actually be together for the majority of it. Friends, lovers, just a team. I know Martin doesn't expect to survive, I want him to. I think it'd be nice to have a bit of good amidst, well, knowing your story will be a tragedy. arguably make it more tragic. John already proposed that they escape together. Asked Martin to run away with him. Stop their servitude. Episode 154, Bloody Mary. Looking through Gertrude's tapes, John found one that his body physically recoiled from. He dropped it twice. Ugh, honestly, it made me think of how Leitner described creatures like Michael more than avatars. And something Simon Fairchild said.
Imagine being a hand that can conceive of itself, having impulses shot through you, being moved and clenched by some unseen mind, but never knowing the reasoning behind your own actions, or even if you're just some thoughtless reflex. Ugh. Sounds horrid.
But the tape was of Derek. Nope, damn it. Okay. But the tape was of Eric Nope, not Delaney. But the tape was of What? I can't say that line. But the tape was of Gertrude summoning the skin page Mary Key gave her in episode 62, first edition. It was her past archival assistant, Eric Delano. He told us how he did it. He gave us a way to escape the eye. He gave us a way to escape the eye. What? Where are you? What? No, quote him, channel him. I don't need to try to do it. I don't know how to... Where is Eric? Eric! Where is Eric? I don't feel him. What? So what do I... The quote from Jerry's father reads, quote, "You were almost there, you know, with your theory that James could watch us from any eye, even an illustration. What did you do? How did you sever that link?" End quote. Here's another thing. Eric Delano also confused me with something very specific. Eric knew Elias and James Wright. Following my theory that Elias is Jonah Magnus, I assumed that he was also James Wright and also every prior head. That he looked the same, didn't age, and just rehired everyone in the building whenever he served for too long, probably adding some glasses or grey hair dye to look aged. But if Eric knew both of them, then I'm not sure that works anymore. Then I started to think of how other avatars remain immortal. Desolation avatars prefer wax, strangers frequently taxiderm themselves, hunters just hunt, and then there's Maxwell Rayner, transferring the darkness within him into different bodies. Seemingly his consciousness of Edmund Haley follows with it. What if Jonah's immortality is more like that? So, what would be the object of transference? What is the beholding equivalent to the darkness within Maxwell Rayner? What is representative of the eye on or within a person that can be replaced between bodies? You're looking at mine right now. What if Jonah Magnus removes the eyes of other people and puts his in their heads? James Wright could have simply invited the original Elias Bouchard to his office, done the deed, and removed James's body. It's never clarified how James died, just that it was in 1996 and Elias started working there in 1991 and very quickly and suddenly became head, obviously to the shock of the other co-workers. Honestly, it's not the cleanest theory, seeing as it's awfully close to blinding oneself, but the dream logic, it's clicking here. Regarding the blinding, John didn't tell anyone else about it. He went straight to Martin and Martin called him out.
Who are you kidding, John? You're not going to do any of that. I could, but you won't. That's why you came to me, isn't it? You know I can't do it, not now. You don't want to blind yourself, you don't want to die. What you want is a reason to not do those things. So, you come to me. Well, you're welcome. Because I can't follow you on this one.
The lonely's really got you, hasn't it?
You know, I think it always did.
What I hate the most is that Martin is right. If John told Basira she'd be holding him down and grabbing a scalpel, I bet Melanie would try it on herself, knowing how much she hates the Institute, but he didn't tell the people that would actually go through with it first. He told the one other person that was too closely tied to let go. So John is alone, disconnected from everyone. And everyone else is cutting off their servitude. Basira's stopped seeing Elias. Daisy is committed to cutting off the hunt. Melanie is no longer actively doing anything to support the Institute. I mean, it's practically just John and the Eye, as he waits to work out what the hell to do. I've been thinking about the doubt question. It's been bothering me so much. Why does doubt, guilt, distrust only sometimes matter? Doubt destroyed the ritual of desolation, but John, but me, it's constant. Constant dread, distrust, constant not wanting to end the world, constant guilt for fading, constantly pushing and pulling inside of yourself as you intrinsically, morally, objectively oppose exactly what you are and what you've become. Well, Helen made it abundantly clear what the answer is.
When has your guilt or your sadness or your hand-wringing ever actually stopped you from doing what it wants?
I have not been taking statements.
You've sworn off other people's trauma for now because you're caught. Because continuing would endanger you. But other than that, when has your discomfort ever actually stopped you walking the path of the beholding?
I don't know.
I'm the prime example of that, don't you think? One after a friend. I can't feed. I've been caught, so I shifted. Went after someone who's hurt me. Someone who I was also curious about. Maybe someone who I thought deserved it. Deserved to know why they should be afraid of me. And I got more than I ever asked for. But I didn't stop feeding. Didn't stop listening onwards. Didn't stop serving the Eye. Or everyone else who has their grip on me. Would John stop the Watcher's Crown if it meant he'd starve? If it meant he'd die? What if we've already made the choice? We chose to survive, then we chose to feed. We've chosen the Watcher twice. Why wouldn't we do it again? No. I've already made the choice 3 times. The Curator, ever so like them to go for the eyes, but holding over death. Every time. For all and everything and forever. So when will my doubt actually change my choices? When will I start acting on it? Astrid. Astrid, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. Please.
Don't bother. It's me.
What? Henrik, what do you mean? I sensed it. I could have sworn that it was going to be.
Look, can we just... the broadcast felt wrong earlier. It was all... my head is still spinning. What did you do?
It was the Curator.
How the fuck was it the Curator? You have the book. They can't possess you without it.
Because I summoned them with it.
You what?
It's basically channeling with a few extra steps. And I didn't really read the Almanac. I just knew what passage to say aloud.
Okay. So where is the book now?
In my bedroom. I didn't need it anymore.
Right. Didn't need it to summon or to feed?
Both?
Oh my god. You took their statement.
I have a limited disposal of statements and episodes to consume. At least John had a whole archive, and I clearly lack self-control when I abstain for too long. So I went for a suitable alternative.
Oh. Better than a friend.
Have you spoken to Astrid?
Obviously, she's fucking furious.
She should be.
Yeah, I'm a little fucking furious too. How did the curator react?
They tried to stab my eyes out with my bone knife.
Why did you have the bone knife when you got possessed?
I've been keeping it closer in case of danger. I just didn't account for,
Somebody stabbing your eyes out through your body?
It's a pretty specific thing to be very wary of in my defense.
So you didn't let them?
Obviously not.
What's the way out?
I couldn't help but notice that you haven't gone through with it either.
Oh, you want to play this game? Fine. I haven't gouged my eyes out in case I had to fucking stop you.
What?
Don't pretend like you can't feel it. If I can and you do tenfold, the broadcast is getting stronger, the viewers are leaving more statements, they're experiencing more stories for you to eat up. You know the difference between you and John? At least John saved the world, but all you've been doing is watching. You're not actually changing anything for the better. You're not being active. You're not helping people. You're just seeing the world crumble around you and being told time and time again that doing so is a danger. All you are is a ceaseless observer, and Astrid and I are the closest you've got to someone being able to stop you.
So what do you think will happen with the Watcher's crown?
I think whatever it is, it's you. And we can't...
What was that?
She's not going to hurt you, Eddie.
What's happening?
I'd say I'm sorry, but, you know that was a lie anyway.
What did you do?
Why don't you really ask me?
What are you doing, Henrik?
Stop being you! Taking your shit! We're taking the Almanac, we're taking your laptop, we're destroying the board, we're taking whatever you need to hold on to that fucking story.
Wait! Astrid! Oh, it's Astrid, that's why I thought she was...
She called you, not me? Yeah, no shit. I'm across the country and she still has the key to your place, and I always know when the broadcast is running.
Astrid, can you hear me? I'm sorry. Can you please just talk to me for a second? Do not take that book. That book could be a failsafe.
You have no idea if that's true. And we're not leaving up to chance every time you get fucking hungry.
Oh, would you rather I take someone and feed on them?
I prefer you got cut from the story and not feed at all.
Oh, you're too late. Christ, Henrik, haven't you worked it out yet? Nothing out there is holding me to the story. The spreadsheet is not an archive. The conspiracy board is not an archive. I am the archive, and you are taking my meal.
Nobody in our statements have ever mentioned a ritual.
What?
In the comments? In the videos? Nobody has ever attempted any rituals. You know why I think that is? Because the horrors aren't powerful enough over here to organize. No, that's what you're doing. You're connecting the damn dots, Edwin. We are the ritual. All the powers are watching us. Whatever this is, it is bringing the powers closer.
You're lying.
Astrid, hurry up.
You're just distracting me.
Its denial has always worked out perfectly for you, hasn't it?
How long have you thought this?
Since I saw you in my dreams.
No, Astrid, stay away from the door. I don't want to hurt you. Again.
Edwin, don't be stupid.
I've never knocked down a door before. I don't know what's behind it. Bookshelf? A chair? Ugh. I've never been a strong person, but let's see what we can do.
Astrid, do something.
Edwin, stop.
Astrid. Astrid, I'm sorry.
What did Annabelle Cain say about free will?
What?
What did Annabelle Cain say about free will? Tell me what she said.
What are you talking about?
I want to hear her, Edwin.
I
Answer the question.
No, Astrid, please, don't.
Oh.
Henrik tried this on you back in season 2. Not so nice to have someone rifle through your head, is it?
Don't you dare, please don't!
I can't forgive you. But I can consider us even.
Stay out of my head, stay out of my head, stay out of...
Of course, that's not the real crux of the free will question that's bothering you at the moment, is it? I think that one probably comes down to whether or not you're choosing to continue reading this statement out loud. But think about it, John. When's the last time you were able to read a statement quietly to yourself without instinctively hitting record and speaking it aloud? Is it just instinct? Habit? Or is it a compulsion? A string pulled by the ceaseless watcher or the mother of puppets? Or both? I know the summaries have started to confuse you. Where do they come from when you read a statement fresh? How do you just sort of know what it's about before you even start to read it? But by then you're away, the roller coaster is dropping, and you've no real choice but to hold on and hope that I don't crash you.
It's over. We're done.
Well, at least I still have you.